call the October 28th meeting of the Christiansburg Town Council to order. As we always do, we ask that you observe a moment of silence for those that are in need and in trouble and sick and throughout the community and throughout the world. We will follow that by the pledge led by Mr. Wilson. So let's take a moment or two for silent reflection. Thank you. Would you please join us, pledge to the flag?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Are there any adjustments to the agenda?
Yes.
Okay.
On number 3 under public hearings, I'd just like to strike the first few words where it says town council's intention
Right.
to adopt an ordinance and make that reflect the same language that it reflected in the planning commission's notes. Just saying in regard. I don't want people to
Correct.
think that it's our intention before a public hearing.
Second.
I agree with that. Second? Madam Clerk, you good with it? So we will, as we go into the public hearing, I'll try to wing it, but we do have a public hearing tonight, and it is in regard to an ordinance for rezoning request for Roger Woody, registered agent for RWJW Properties LLC, applicant and a property owner, to rezone property located at 300 Kimball Lane Southwest, approximately 37.987 acre tract, parcel number 557A-20, from A agriculture to R1 single residential. The property is designated as residential on the future land use map of the 2013 Christiansburg Comprehensive Plan. So before we do that, I was handed a statement by town administration. Before we begin the public comment period, I want to clarify the purpose of tonight's hearing. This is a rezoning request from agriculture to R1. It is strictly about whether residential use is appropriate at this location. No subdivision has been designed, approved yet. If the rezoning is approved, all future plans will go through the town's standard subdivision, engineering, stormwater, traffic review process. So with that, I will open the public hearing. If you would like to address this issue, if you'll come forward to the microphone, give us your name and your address, limit your comments to 3 minutes or less, and address them to the chair, which is me. Anyone like to? Thank you, Steve. Come on.
I think you
You've
might.
been here before.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. Steve Simonis, Balzer and Associates, 80 College Street here in Christiansburg. We're representing RWJW on this rezoning request. I'll try to be brief this evening. So the property we're looking at is just 38 acres at the end of Kimball Lane, Baldwin Lane, just south of Summit Ridge Road. As council remembers, back earlier in this year, we were representing Mr. Woody on a rezoning request and a conditional use permit up in the upper left-hand corner, which was just under 19 acres. Planning Commission and Council on that one recommended the CUP not be approved, which added some additional density, but did approve the R1 zoning, which is what we're asking for tonight on our property down here. So To go into that just a little bit, so the request tonight is to go to a straight R1, single-family detached residential zoning district. The comprehensive plan of the town of Christiansburg shows this area here as residential in a future land use map. So what the by right R1 means is that just based on straight zoning code, so setbacks, lot sizes, driveway requirements, street widths, sidewalks, all the things that's in the town code is what we're going to be required to design to, just as any other single-family subdivision in the town of Christiansburg. We're not asking for any exceptions. We're not asking for any conditional use permits for lower density or higher density or smaller lot sizes like we did on the other one back in the earlier part of the year. So this is just a straight R1 zoning, which, as you can see on this map, is exactly the same as what we've got around us of our adjacent neighborhoods up to Summit Ridge, over to the right where Kimball and Baldwin are, and down to the south, Page South with Mulberry Drive. We have several properties in here, which I'll touch on here in just a few minutes. As part of this property, you can see this touches back up to the 19 acres I was speaking about a little bit ago. What we tried to do when we looked at this project was go back and think through all the comments and concerns that we heard from our neighbors on the first one and address those proactively with this application, which is what we've tried to do. So again, the R1 zoning, one of the things we heard a lot about was multiple access points, or the lack thereof, multiple access points in and out of the Summit Ridge subdivision, as well as some of the other roads here to the south. So as part of this project, if it's approved and we move forward with a subdivision, one of our proffered conditions is that we would have a road connection that would connect up into this subdivision and back out. One of the other pieces that was talked about was providing a traffic study, which was requested by the town. We have provided a traffic study that's been reviewed by the engineering staff and met their approval. They agreed with the recommendations. Based on the traffic that would be generated from this project, it showed turn lane improvements that would be necessary at Summit Ridge Road and at Kimball Lane. And the last piece, and I provided you all with a copy of this tonight just for you to hang on to. I won't read through it in the essence of time, but again, this is a straight R1 rezoning. We really did try to take a lot of time to look through this and be sure we were meeting what was asked for, and I'd be happy to answer any questions that council may have after everybody else speaks.
Yes, thank you. Anyone else?
Mayor, council, I'm Sue Speed. I live at 110 Kimball Lane. I've been there going on 58 years. I've been sick over this mess. There's already enough traffic going up Kimball Lane, up and down Kimball Lane, 5 days, workday weeks, from absolute business. That's enough for Kimball Lane. I watch it every day, up and down, up and down. Our street is not passable with 2 cars in opposite directions. We're basically a 1-lane street. One goes up, one can come down. If another one meets you, you got to pull over and wait for the other one to pass. That's the way it's been. I have a question about the bridge on Franklin over Interstate. I know how old that bridge is with me living in Christiansburg. Is it capable of handling an extra 2, 3, 4, or more by the time Kimball Lane, Summit Ridge, who knows? I am, for one, am not going to be stuck on that bridge if there's a line backed up. I travel it several times a day, and I don't trust it that much. I have had migraines and regular headaches because of this, which kept me from going to the Planning Commission meetings, but I did watch them. One thing that the Planning Commission chairperson said, and I quote this, "I feel sorry for the people on Kimball Lane," unquote. She's walked Kimball Lane with her baby in a stroller. I don't know when that was. There's a girl that goes around the block every single day with her baby in a stroller jogging. We've got families that
So
little
you got
children
about,
can't
you got
even
about
ride a
15
bicycle.
seconds. About 15 seconds before you.
Can't
through.
ride a bicycle. The families are there with them. I truly am not in favor of this. I feel like Franklin Street's coming on Kimball Lane, and I won't even be able to go to the mailbox to get my mail, which
Thank
is
you.
across the street.
Thank you.
So I urge you,
Be careful
Consider
going back, Sue, on those floors, the things in the floor. Be careful of those steps back there.
yeah, thank you.
You're very welcome. So anyone else?
Hello, my name is Mark Perdue. I live at 290 Ellett Drive, Christiansburg, Virginia. I grew up at 75 Overland Drive in Christiansburg, Virginia. This new proposed ordinance for the rezoning request, I thoroughly disapprove of. This entire new subdivision that's going to be built there, I think is going to affect a lot of the existing neighborhoods in a negative way. We do not have existing infrastructure to support this new subdivision. We have a problem with no sidewalks in the existing neighborhoods. We are going to be building out a lot of new sewage, water, and streets that are all going to be paid by the taxpayer. What is the solution for the taxpayer for my generation and the future generations down the road as far as taxes go with this new project? I'm curious as to what we can do to come together to create a more hospitable place for existing citizens in the town to live in. I currently, on 290 Ellett Drive, live across from a park, and I see the traffic that comes through there all the time. What are the implications that are going to be with this new subdivision coming through that park, coming through that neighborhood? Same thing with Allegheny Street. What is going to be happening to those existing neighborhoods? I would like for the mayor and the town council to consider all of that. Thank you.
Thank you. Would you spell your last name for me, please?
P-E-R-D-U-E.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Anyone else?
Good evening, Katie Mallory, 415 Mulberry Drive. A lot of the concerns I have already been mentioned. I'm going to zip through mine pretty quickly. I second the concerns on Kimball Road. It's exceptionally narrow, and I worry that someone is going to be injured or killed walking by a vehicle. My first concern when I saw this rezoning, given where I live on Mulberry, is the water runoff. I am on the steep side, the back side of that hill. Our basement already floods. In any moderate rain event, we hit about 4 inches over several days. Our basement floods. My neighbor's basement floods. It is runoff from that hill. I heard in previous meetings that they were hoping to not develop on that hill. A citizen in the past planning commission had requested a green space proffer. I don't know if anything had been done with that. That would be greatly appreciated. But I know that will be addressed later. I have neighbors with water pressure issues. I've heard sewage issues over on the tree streets. We've heard concerns about loss of property due to the turn lane and taper that are going to be required in 4 years per the traffic study that was provided. And in addition to that, is we see the utility markings right now on that property. And so where are those utilities going to be moved when the turn lanes and tapers go in? And is that an additional loss of property? As you just heard, there's already traffic concerns on Allegheny and Ellett. Circle Park is surrounded by roads, and there are concerns of people constantly running that stop sign. I second the state of the bridge. Do we know how that bridge is, how stable it is, and can it take the extra traffic? Talking about increases in traffic, on my drive home, I know I get stuck at the light in front of Papa John's. That's a very small road from where I think is that first or second right there at Papa John's, down to Maine. That's a tiny block. Something's wrong with the timing on that light. I know that can probably be fixed very easily, but that's only going to get worse with more traffic. I want to clarify, I personally am not anti-development. We need houses. I understand. We do not need houses at the expense of the people that already live in this town. Please take care of the ones that already live here, pay taxes here, voted for all of you. Please remember us. We don't mind welcoming new people, but don't do it to our detriment. I'm wondering if there's an opportunity to maybe pause and see how the 30 houses go. We know that's going to happen. What does that look like for us?
You got about 10 seconds.
I only need 10 seconds, sir.
There you go.
My last thing is a question. Is there an opportunity, just from my understanding, everybody's understanding, to speak at the November 14th meeting? Or is that closed session?
Well, it's not a closed session, but it'll be under discussion by mayor and council. Now, there will be, there will be a public hearing or a public comment time prior to the vote on that. So there is one more opportunity to speak.
Great, thank you, I appreciate it.
Anyone else?
My name is Sharon Purdue. I'm Mark's mom. I'm in agreement with him. I'm in agreement with her. We have so much traffic coming in from Pilot. What's this added going to do to our infrastructure? I mean, our traffic. In our neighborhood, Mulberry and Overland, we have many, many people walking, and they have to go on Franklin's. And I'm sure people walk in Summit Ridge too. I'm just concerned, and I'm very much against it.
Thank you. Anyone else? Hearing no one, I will close the public hearings.
She's going to speak.
She has another.
I saw her about the time I dropped the gavel. Come on up.
Good evening. I live at 405 Mulberry Drive, and I guess my name is Becky Bowles, Bowles, and I guess my concern is I've lived there 32 years, just like everyone else, traffic. What is going to happen with traffic? I was on a Tuesday afternoon at 1:15 at Papa John's. I was like, I had just went through the light at the post office, and traffic was backed up at the Papa John's light at 1:15 in the afternoon. What's going to happen when people leave work? The school buses, the children trying to get home in the evenings, when you have that much traffic from 100 houses. How is traffic going to be? And I wonder about the bridge, like everyone else. Can the bridge handle that much traffic more? So those are my concerns, is traffic and how it's going to affect the other streets, because that's my shortcut. I use those streets too, and I have come through there and seen, I guess it's Allegheny, one of them. There will be 8 or 10 cars trying to get on Franklin from that stop sign. So I just want you to consider all of that as you move forward with this, and protect the citizens that you already have. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else?
Good evening, Mayor and Town Council. My name is Brian Grove, and I'm the homeowner of 125 Summit Ridge Road. So I appreciate the opportunity to speak with Town Council this evening to share my concerns. As Christiansburg continues to grow, it's essential that future planning be strategic especially when it comes to housing developments and their impacts on neighborhoods already facing infrastructure challenges. I'm particularly concerned about the rezoning request for a future housing development off Kimball Lane. The project raises several issues, including condition of existing roads, strain on utilities and school systems, and increased traffic in the area. My property will be directly affected by the construction of a future turn lane, which is expected to be built in about next 2 to 3 years. I do not support the development and urge Town Council to reconsider approval of the request. The proposal represents the first phase, in my opinion, of a larger housing project. Once the developer secures a right-of-way to connect to and access Route 8 on the back side of that property, they are likely to return to this council to request for the original plan that was previously submitted to this council. If the council does choose to approve the request, I respectfully ask that you commit to improving our neighborhood's infrastructure, potentially looking at mitigation options for Kimball Lane and upgrading roadways to support the anticipated growth, heavier traffic volumes in our neighborhoods. Forward thinking and planning needs to occur to support growth, and we have to be fiscally responsible. Thank you for the time and hearing my concerns. Thank you all.
Council, at your spot, when I reviewed our packet today, I noticed that the minutes from the October 20th Planning Commission was not there. So I asked Randy if he would put a copy of those minutes. It lists all of the public comments that you all made at that 20th meeting. Certainly not to say don't come up and talk again, but I mean, they've been noted and council has a copy of those. I have received 8 emails and forwarded them on to planning from Ms. Duncan, Ms. Alley, Mr. and Ms. Williams, Mr. Turner, Mr. and Ms. Bass, Mr. Friend, and Dave Bradshaw, the ones that I got straight through, and other comments are here in the minutes. Now, is there anyone else that would like to address this matter?
I want to make a few comments.
Got a
Oh, I'm sorry. Customer.
David Bradshaw, 475 Summit Ridge Road. I appreciate the opportunity to speak. I want to thank Steve for meeting with me. I actually went to meet with him after the public hearing. I watched it on video since I couldn't make it, and you were very informative, and I appreciate that. And I realize that development can go in there. But I've been thinking about ways, and some of the things I heard here tonight, I wasn't going to say anything, but I feel like I need to say something. And I really just want to throw this out as a conversation for you all. Somebody mentioned that couldn't we just try 30 or 40? I think with the agricultural zoning, you're only allowed so many homes. And that got me thinking, if it's zoned agricultural, the property value is less than if it's residential, correct? That you typically price.
Yes, I would think so.
So couldn't we, in the name of affordable housing, which is one of the causes that you guys have taken on before, if you were to limit it to the agricultural zoning, and you could only build so many homes, that might save $40,000 or $50,000 in just property value or cost of the land, so that you could build nicer homes in there or more affordable homes for people. So maybe this is a good test case for looking at new development that's going to go into that area to say, hey, look, let's limit the numbers. And that's what I asked was, why can't you just limit the numbers here and try to do a test pilot here to see, hey, this is going to be the first subdivision going in on this side of 81 in a long, long time. So why not try to do a small number, a small batch, see how it works, save the cost of the increase in property value, the land value, if you keep it agricultural, and maybe that's just a way of finding a happy compromise. What would have been ideal is if we'd had a beautiful, wonderful community meeting about this to where citizens could come out and talk and maybe be part of the planning process before it gets to this point, so that you all aren't put on the spot before an election on how you're going to vote on something. And so maybe some of these things could have come out at that point to talk about, to say, hey, maybe we just need to put 40 homes in there. Because by the time you combine this with what's going to go on the end of Summit Ridge, it's going to be a lot of homes, and it's going to be even more cars than we're talking about tonight just for this one. So that's all I'm asking, is if you consider this, think about it as a way, as a test pilot of the first development on the other side of 81. They have the right to do it. It's their land. If they're not asking for anything special, can't really stop that. But if you keep it agricultural, it might keep the price of the homes down because the property value of the land itself would not be as valuable under the R1 zoning. So, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Hearing no one, seeing no one, I will close the citizens' comments.
Can I say a couple of things, please?
Would you like to do it under comments by council, or would you, is this?
Is regarding this subdivision, so I feel like I can speak.
5 minutes.
Yes. I agree with a lot of the comments that have been brought up. As far as the subdivision, the way it is right now is not a subdivision, obviously, but by right, they do have the ability to build up to 53 units. We do not have to approve this rezoning change. And they are asking for something special. They are asking for a rezone request, which means that it will go from agriculture, which you can build 56 homes, to 106 possibly, or 94 units, which is pretty much double the amount what, it should be right now. So I consider, I live on that side of town, and I feel like the infrastructure, the no sidewalks, and all the things that you guys have brought up to our attention are definitely things that we need to prepare for and, bring that up before, we continue to build homes without having the infrastructure. So thank you for coming out here to speak and for the emails that were sent out.
Thank you, Ms. Hicks. Under the consent agenda, that's longer than public hearing, we have approval of minutes. I'd like to thank everyone for coming out also. We do appreciate it. And I know that I think if the property stays as agriculture, must be lot sizes of a half an acre, which David would probably increase the cost of the land and probably people wanting to build larger homes. I'm not sure how we work there, but I do know that there is a possibility to rezone under or to build under agriculture. So under the consent agenda, we have the approval of the minutes of October 14th, approval of the minutes of October 22nd. We have a bill list, a contract with Virginia Business Systems in the amount of $155,966 for the 60-month lease, and I believe that is for 20 or 24 copy machines, copiers? Okay, thank you. A contract amendment 3 with CHA House Consulting for the renewal of water, sewer, and wastewater treatment team services in excess of $100,000, not to exceed $500,000 per task order, and not to exceed $2.5 million per annual contract per term, Virginia Public Procurement Act. The next is contract amendment number 3 with Hazen Sawyer for the renewal of water, sewer, and wastewater treatment term services in excess of $100,000, not to exceed $500,000 per task order, and not to exceed $2.5 million per annual contract per Virginia Procurement Act. Contract amendment number 3 with Hurt and Profit for the renewal of water, sewer, and wastewater treatment services in the excess of $100,000, not to exceed $500,000 per task order, and not to exceed $2.5 million per annual contract term per Virginia Public Procurement Act. Contract amendment number 3, McGill and Associates, TA, for the renewal of water, sewer, wastewater treatment term services in excess of $100,000, not to exceed $500,000 per task order, and not to exceed $2.5 million per annual contract term. This is again, per Virginia Procurement Act, Public Procurement Act. Contract amendment number 3 with Whitman, Ringquart and Associates LLP for the renewal of water, sewer, and wastewater treatment term services in excess of $100,000, not to exceed $500,000 per task order, and not to exceed $2.5 million per annual contract term per Virginia Procurement Act. We have a proclamation to recognize November 1st, 2025 as Extra Mile Day. We set a town council public hearing for November the 18th for town council's intentions to adopt an ordinance in regard to a request by Westwood Professional Services applicant and F&B Land LP property owner to vacate a portion of a 20-foot wide public drainage easement on property located between Diana Drive Northwest and Aldrich Drive Northwest, tax parcel 525A-4. Set a town council public hearing on November the 18th for town council's attention to adopt an ordinance in regard to a street vacation process request by Ryan Davis to vacate an unimproved portion of South Street Northeast on the north side of the property located on 506 Hill Street Northeast, tax number ID 497-15-14, 15, 16, and 17. And set a town council public hearing on January the 3rd, 2026 for a conditional use request by Clayco LLC, property owner and applicant to allow planned housing development of 28 multifamily residential dwelling units on approximately 2.31 acres located between the northeast section of Christmas Street and First Street, between 101 Christmas Street Southwest and 400 West Main Street, tax parcel 526A-138 in the R3 multifamily residential district. This property is designated as residential for the future land use map of the 2013 Christiansburg Comprehensive Plan.
So move.
Second.
Madam, any discussion?
Yeah, I had a big concern regarding the 24 printers that we're going to be renting out for the next 16 months for $155,966.40.
Are we replacing printers that are out of service?
No, they're just leasing. And so,
Well, that's what we were doing with them. We were leasing them. This is a new lease to replace those printers that are no longer with us in working condition.
so we are getting new
Yes.
printers, is that correct, Brenda?
We don't own them, we're leasing them for, and this is a 5-year lease.
I know, but they're replacing them too, the mayor?
Yes, yes.
All of them?
Yeah. Go ahead, Katie.
We actually are getting additional printers for this amount. I took a few notes. Previously, we had 15 copiers and one extra check printer at a cost of roughly $7,200. At a cost of approximately $7,200 per copier. We now will have 24 copiers, which is 8. They're all new, but 8 additional new copiers, including the one check printer. And they are running about $6,500 per copier. So it's going to be cheaper.
What was the cost of our last agreement?
I'm sorry?
What was the cost of our last
The
agreement?
cost of it,
The total cost for the 60 months?
I think it was $105,000.
So 105,000 and now we're over $50,000.
With 8 more printers.
It was
would be more.
$107,000, I'm sorry.
107,000.
But we included 8 new printers. It includes an additional 8 printers.
And that's at $6,500 apiece, so that's almost $52,000 there. Thank you.
I want to put it in the record, that's just a lot of money. Thank you.
Well, okay. Madam Clerk. I'm sorry, are there any other comments or questions? Madam Clerk.
Councilman Bishop.
Aye.
Councilwoman Bowman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Cox.
Aye.
Councilwoman Hicks.
Aye.
Councilwoman Hockett.
Aye.
Councilman Wilson.
Aye.
That is 6-0. Under introductions and presentations, Blacksburg, Christiansburg, Montgomery County Regional Tourism Office Executive Director Samantha Livesay to present their first fiscal year 24-25 annual report.
Good afternoon. Let me get mine a little higher. Can you hear me? Okay. All right. Wonderful. Well, good evening, and thank you all so much for having me, Mayor Barber and council members, as well as the citizens of Christiansburg. Again, thank you for the opportunity for allowing me to be here today to report and present our fiscal year 24-25 annual report for the Blacksburg, Christiansburg, Montgomery County Regional Tourism Office. Before I begin, I do want to take the opportunity just to offer my gratitude for your support for our office. Your investment and support, as I mentioned, makes it possible for our team to be able to tell the story of this incredible place and allowing us to drive meaningful impact for both our visitors as well as our citizens and residents. So as you will see on this slide, the next slide, oh, it's me. As you'll see on this slide, our tourism effort here truly is a team effort. I'm a firm believer in saying teamwork makes the dream work, and I want to start off by first recognizing Emma Cook, who has been a steady and constant during this past year of turnover and transition. Her dedication and consistency ensure that our tourism efforts continue to move forward. I just want to, again, acknowledge her. She is with us this afternoon, so thank you, Emma. Additionally, I am thrilled to be standing here in front of you all today to welcome our newest team member. We welcomed our third team member, Evan Hull, who is our marketing coordinator. I'm really excited to have him on with his expertise as well as his energy and perspective that he's going to be bringing to our team. And today is day 6 on the job, so we are really excited to have him with us. It is also worth noting that the annual report that I'm going to be presenting to you all is the first one that's been published since 2019. And so I'm genuinely excited to bring this back and present it to you all. In addition, an annual plan of work was not provided or created for us this past year. So the data and the success that I'm going to be providing to you all today and the accomplishments, just know that we didn't have specific goals or benchmarks to compare that to, but just know that is something that we are going to be addressing moving forward to set goals and objectives to allow us to have benchmarks. And then additionally, before diving into the numbers, I do want to briefly note that the economic impact data that I'm presenting comes directly from the Virginia Tourism Corporation, and their reporting provides figures at the county level, which includes the town of Christiansburg, the town of Blacksburg, and then Montgomery County as a whole. And so while I completely understand that there is a desire to know specific locality numbers, and I have requested that breakdown from VTC, however, at this time, VTC does not allow for sub-county level analysis. But that being said, we are continuing to explore better ways to be able to segment and interpret the data that's provided to us from VTC. And that is particularly through our partnership with Placer AI, which gives us valuable visitor information and origin insights. And so the Placer data, it tracks location services off of our visitors' phones if it is turned on when they come into our locality, so that we are able to see where those visitors are coming from and where they're spending their time once they get here into our community. And while it doesn't show specific spending data, it does show behavioral patterns, which helps us better understand how people are engaging with Christiansburg and where the strongest opportunities for tourism growth may be. So the exciting announcement that I can say is that we did have a record year for visitor spending in Montgomery County. We had $293.7 million of direct spending, with an additional 151 in indirect and induced impact. And so to break that down, when you're looking at that 293 number for the direct spending, that is coming from the visitors doing the direct things such as hotel stays, dining out, retail shopping, and entertainment. The indirect impact captures the business-to-business ripple effect. For an example, when a restaurant purchases ingredients from a local supplier, or a hotel is utilizing local maintenance workers to work on the hotels. The induced impact comes from the wage income from those tourism-supported employees that are spending that income locally, so at your grocery stores, on your housing, childcare. So altogether, this paints a clear picture that tourism doesn't just support our visitor-facing businesses, it fuels our entire local economy. And so this right here breaks down that direct spending into those tourism categories. So you can see food and beverage, 113 million, lodging, 73 million, recreation, 40, retail, 33 million, and then transportation, 33 million. Additionally, tourism generated $11 million in state taxes, as well as $18 million in local taxes. And then it was able to generate $148 million for labor income for those folks that are working in those tourism-supported industries. This is a really exciting number to present to you all. So in the visitors that came into Montgomery County were able to save each household in Montgomery County $778.96. And this number is derived from the combined $11 million in state taxes with the $18 million in local taxes divided by the total number of households in Montgomery County. So in other words, if we didn't have tourism to generate a total of $29 million in combined state and local taxes, the households in Montgomery County would have to pay nearly $800 more each year to receive the same level and quality of services. So this is a quiet yet powerful way to show the return on investment for tourism and visitors here in our locality. For tourism, one of the most telling indicators of a healthy tourism for a community are those overnight stays. So the head and beds are really how we're able to dictate success in our community. So Montgomery County welcomed 1.4 million overnight trips that accounted for 3.7 total visitor nights. And so those overnight stays represent stronger stronger spending patterns. This shows that people are wanting to and willing to stay longer and spend more and explore our communities deeper. And the increase in overnight trips and visit nights, this is reflective for the Commonwealth as a whole, who also saw an increase in the stays for the Commonwealth. And so you can see where we are supporting that growth within the Commonwealth. And this number right here is showing where are our visitors coming from. So to no surprise to a lot of us, Washington, D.C. and the metro area is bringing in the most visitors, with Richmond, Virginia Beach, and then other high-quality, high-performing cities on the Eastern Shore. And I will want to say that it is really exciting to note, looking at where our visitors are coming from, we all have direct connection with these folks through direct flights out of the Roanoke-Blacksburg Regional Airport. So that opens up opportunities for us to have more tourism growth if we're able to get in front of these markets with advertising and marketing. Additionally, there's about 4 of these markets on here that are on the direct route for Amtrak when we welcome that in 2027. So we have 2 modes of transportation that we'll be able to really get in front of and again advertise and market our region to create additional opportunities for us moving forward. So the next 2 slides are just graphics that are showing you where those visitors are coming from. These were pulled from Placer AI of what I mentioned earlier. Again, that Washington, D.C. purple area showing the most visitors coming in with Charlotte, Atlanta, and then also we are seeing an uptick in Chicago as well for visitors coming into this area. Again, a lot of that I believe we can attribute to where Roanoke is adding those additional direct flights from Chicago to the Roanoke-Blacksburg Regional Airport. And then right here, this is showing where are those visitors going when they get into our area. So this is helping us understand the movement and engagement that those folks are doing when they get to Montgomery County. And you will note that there is a nice little gap right there in Blacksburg. And we did some research and realized that that is the Virginia Tech campus. So they are reporting at a different zip code. As well, we don't have visitors staying the night, paying visitors staying the night in that area. So with Placer AI data, it is pulling from paid visitors, so hotels, Airbnbs, extended stays. That's where that data is being pulled from Placer AI. Our digital presence continues to grow, to show a strong and steady growth. We saw an increase in engagement on our primary tourism website, as well as our virtual visitor center. And I will just want to note that looking ahead, we are strategically trying to streamline our digital efforts to guide our users to our main tourism website, that is the gotomontva.com, where they're able to access the virtual visitor center, our community profiles, blogs, as well as our itinerary resources. And this shift ensures that a stronger brand consistency and also better tracking for the future. It also helps with the search engine optimization, which is something that we have discussed here with this town council before. And so really working on those keywords that folks are searching for and having it all drive back to one location instead of dividing that traffic up to our virtual visitor center and our main website. Social media, of course, continues to be an important driver as well for engagement and storytelling. Our Facebook reached over 106,000 impressions, with our Instagram reaching 12,000, and we were able to gain some new followers last year as well. And something to note of this, all of this is organic growth. None of this had any type of paid advertisement behind it, just with the turnover and transition. So all of this is organic growth, and really happy to report that up until today, October, we're seeing the same growth continuing as well. Additionally, we have a partnership with Geiger and Associates. We've been able to make significant strides in earned media this year. We have hosted 18 travel journalists. That is on 2 different tours that we were able to welcome those travel journalists in. They were able to spend anywhere from 2.5 to 3.5 days with us and truly living like a tourist and taking pictures, getting content that they then went back and were able to generate 32 of those articles. And from those 32 articles, the reach of that was 4.7 million consumers that were reached, that were able to see and be exposed to Montgomery County, Christiansburg, and Blacksburg. That equaled a value of 106 total value. And for our organization, that was an ROI of $1.41. And one of my favorite stories that has come out of our hosting of these travel journalists is when we had some representatives from the state with VTC. We took them on a very shortened familiarization tour. We were at the Old New River Bookstore in historic Cambria, and the owner came out and just wanted to offer his gratitude for that, because he had a patron that came in that was able to say and cited that he made the trip from Georgia to his bookstore because of an article that he read in the Alpharetta magazine down in Georgia. So that right there is just showing you the power of storytelling in tourism. It's creating real visitors, it's creating real spending, and as we saw, it's creating real impact for our community. And so as you can see right here, these are some of the, you all have this printed out in front of you so you can see a little bit better, but again, we're really proud of the media exposure that is generated through this partnership with Geiger and Associates, with over those 32 articles published this past fiscal year. Specifically, there were 2 articles where Christiansburg was the main focus of articles that were published, and that included the America's Historic Road Trip and the Thomasville Scene, and that was another suburb in Georgia. Both of those were featuring the Old New River Books in historic Cambria, as well as the Christiansburg Huckleberry Park. But what's also important to note is that in all of those articles that were generated and published together, they are able to tell this comprehensive story. They're able to position Christiansburg, Blacksburg, and Montgomery County and all of the surrounding areas as interconnected experiences that make Montgomery County, the town of Christiansburg, a place worth visiting and worth staying. So it's a collective story of shared assets, and certainly the town of Christiansburg plays an important part in that storytelling. In closing, as we look ahead, Montgomery County tourism's sector is not just stable. The numbers are showing that we are thriving. Our data clearly shows a record year for visitor spending, local revenue, and community impact. And just last week, our team completed a 2-day strategic planning session, and Councilman Wilson was with us on one of those days, and really excited to have him there with us, as well as numerous community leaders, where we were able to come and talk about where are our growth opportunities, where do we have gaps, and what assets do we have to fill those gaps, or maybe we're not even thinking about tourism assets in a way that we should be. So it was a wonderful opportunity to have our representative, Caitlin Hunter from VTC, with her teammates come in and facilitate that. So looking forward to having that hopefully on the ground and implemented the first of the year. And as I mentioned, that's going to be providing us goals, objectives, and benchmark for moving forward to next year. So again, thank you all so much, and I would love to open the floor and be able to answer any questions that you all may have. Thank you.
Thank you. That was a very interesting presentation, and one, as you say, we have not seen in several years.
Yes.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Any comments?
Yes, I appreciate the presentation. I also would like to know, is there any way possible that we can either buy more domains or have a different strategy as far as getting people to be involved in the site? Because I do know that, the site that we have for the tourism right now is go to montva.com, which is not, I wouldn't spell that. You know what I mean? Like, most people are going to be looking for tourism Christiansburg. And as I was searching over here just a few minutes ago, Christiansburg tourism Christiansburg, and everything else, the main thing that comes up is actually Christiansburg, Virginia, which is great. But it shows the information about our site and everything as far as like tourism in Christiansburg. And maybe that's on our side too, where we could have a link to you guys' tourism page, but it's not very welcoming. And I think that one of the things that I'm looking at from a positive standpoint is I am one of those people when it goes to a place, I want to do a search, what things I can do and everything, and that's what tourism is there for. But if we don't find you like in the main things that we're searching for, you're kind of going to get lost and wander somewhere else. And so I was wondering if there is any other possibility that maybe you can look into maybe buying more domains, which they're very inexpensive to buy, and you can always link them to your main domain, which is the go to montva.com. So it makes it more welcoming, not just for Christiansburg, for Blacksburg, and even Montgomery. But that was just a suggestion that maybe you can take on and see if we can, get this a little bit more bumping up, because tourism has always been there. We have done a really good job as far as, we got over 9 parks, we got a wonderful aquatic center, we got a lot of places where to go to, and especially, close to it. You don't have to literally just do some of those things here in Christiansburg, but you can also go somewhere else and then come back and stay in Christiansburg, which is what most people do. So
Certainly, yeah. Thank you for that. And I believe that was a recommendation when I was here back in June. And since then, we have been doing efforts in terms of researching keywords and really ramping up our blogs to have the keywords hitting on the background. So not so much domain specific, but really trying to generate organic search for that search engine optimization is really what we're trying to build on. In terms of the domain, really trying to drive folks either through QR codes or links on our website. So certainly we'll look into the domain, but really trying to figure out other ways to organically grow that traffic to our website. That way, on the back end, you're using those keywords. So as folks search things to do in Christiansburg, things to do in Blacksburg, that site is coming up.
I wasn't looking at it when it wasn't really showing up for me, but maybe it's the way I'm searching it. But
Yeah,
I would suggest that, maybe with the tourism, that there is even a domain that you guys can use that would be easy to remember for people when they are doing the searches. Because if I want to look for tourism in Christiansburg, and especially if I'm looking for going to your site, I want to get something that is instant. And definitely the go to montva.com is not instant. So I'll probably won't remember it by the end of the day. So thank you.
Thank you for your
Any
feedback.
other comments or questions?
Yeah, I'd just like to say thanks. I appreciate all your efforts in a short period of time, and thanks for moving it in the right direction.
I appreciate that.
Same here, from where we were to where we are now, big difference.
Big
Appreciate
improvement.
time.
Yes.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you all.
Thank you for bringing your staff with you. Next on our presentations, we have Virginia Tech Montgomery Executive Regional Airport Executive Director Keith Holt to present on airport operations. I'm glad to see a couple of your board members, our former Councilman Stipes and Nell Bishop, Dr. Bishop, here to support you tonight, so thank you.
Yes, no, I appreciate them being here. I appreciate being here before you, Mr. Mayor, and members of Town Council. I also have with me today John McCalmont. He is with Parish and Partners. He is our lead engineer on one of the projects of which that we will be talking about today, which is our master plan update project. And so, yeah, I'm very excited to be here. I think it's been about a year since I presented to you all last, and it's also great to follow up with Samantha. We had just actually recently met, probably within about the last 45 days, talking about tourism. So there is some overlap here in our presentations, which is great to see. So just as a reminder, the airport is run by a regional airport authority, of which that is made up as from the town of Christiansburg, town of Blacksburg, Montgomery County, and Virginia Tech. As mentioned, I have two of my board members here with me today, Mr. Stipes and Dr. Bishop, and both of which are Christiansburg representatives or Christiansburg residents. We operate on about a $2.7 million operating budget per annual. And when we look at the airport, we generally look 20 years is a good time frame of looking at an airport. Here's two snapshots in time of the airport, 2003 versus 2023. Kind of shows some of the development and some of the changes of which that occurred in the airport. Mainly, the largest project of which that had been accomplished is the extension of the runway to 5,500 feet. That was completed in 2020. We also upgraded our runway safety area and our lighting at that time. More recently, we have also constructed, or in the process of finishing up construction, 3 new aircraft storage hangars. We've installed electric aircraft chargers in 2022, and we have also done a 21-spot, roughly 3 acres of paving for aircraft parking out at the airport. Now, all of these projects combined really help to benefit all of our localities and all of the users of the airport. Some of the frequent users of which that we see here for the town of Christiansburg include businesses such as Corning, Target. We've also seen Sheetz. It's really been fun and interesting to see the amount of activity generated, air traffic generated from the passenger rail station. So I've seen governor's announcements, I've seen Amtrak in, all of those related to that project as well. And then we have from the tourism side, certainly with smaller aircraft, we have seen a number of folks of which that have flown in for youth recreational activities, both at the parks as well as at the aquatic center. And most recently, I've seen an awful lot of golf clubs come off of airplanes too, which everybody has said that they were flying south for better weather, but this week it turned very cold. So that was not to their greatest benefit. So as we're looking at 20 years in advance, our master plan becomes very important. So our old master plan was completed in 2008. The largest project on that master plan and the most significant project on that master plan was the runway extension. And so since that was completed, the FAA encouraged us to go ahead and start the process in our updating master plan. So what is a master plan? In a way, you can kind of think of that like a comprehensive plan for your town. But it is very much, all the details of that are very much laid out by the FAA. In very specific terms, they say these are the things of which that they expect and they want to be seen in a master plan. So Inventory of existing conditions, aviation activity forecasting, demand and capacity, what our facility requirements are, alternatives analysis, a full-on implementation plan, and then a complete drawing set. This ends up being it's a 3-inch binder, and I will tell you it is the most referenced document on my bookshelf. So we started our master plan update in the fall, winter of 2023. There was an awful lot of background information data collection of which that we did, got us to the point of about 170 pages of data collection. This really looked at our forecasting numbers, what the future of the airport looked like, what the type and size of the aircraft of which that were frequently coming to the airport were. We held our first public meeting in May. And we got some fantastic feedback from that public meeting. I will say that our primary growth in this master plan has been growth within our fence, or in other words, not looking at additional land acquisition. How can we maximize the land that we already have? And that has been a significant primary focus of our master plan, but also very mindful towards safety, identifying additional revenue sources, and being smart about our growth. We fully expect that the project to be completed early 2026. The document and the master plan, it does require FAA concurrence. So there could be some challenges there with as far as getting the final sign-off with the FAA. So what are we kind of looking at in our master plan, and what have we learned from some of the data analysis of which that we have done so far? Really, if we look at 2023 numbers, we had about 21,900 aircraft operations per year. Go out 20 years, and we're looking at just a little over 30,000 operations. Moderate growth, not explosive or substantial growth. Most of that growth is also geared around the growth of our communities themselves. One of the things of which that we have identified is what facilities of which that we are lacking or need to improve or have more of, and we have laid that list of those facilities out. A item of which that we are really exploring and looking at is what the future terminal building is going to look like out at the airport. The existing terminal building was built in 1995. We are running out of space and parking spaces, so what will that look like in the future to make sure of which that we're poising the airport for future demands. As I mentioned, our first round of open house and public comment went really well. We had a lot of input from neighbors. We had a lot of input from the business community as to what needed to go into the master plan. Several areas of which that were specifically looked at and some areas of which that were specifically modified has gotten us to a point today where we have a much more refined product going forward in our master plan as we begin to enter into our last phase or our final phase of public comments. So what's next? Right now we are working on our implementation plan. This honestly will take a look at every year and what projects for the next 20 years could reasonably be accomplished. That doesn't mean that we are necessarily set to those years and those projects. Oftentimes projects come about as funding comes available, so those projects may shift. We're not necessarily completely tied into those projects in that order. Oftentimes it is more dictated by where our funding sources and what projects we can get funding for. And then we'll work on the final set of plans for the master plan. We continue to respond to any public comments of which that we have and we receive. On our website, we have a list of frequently asked questions posted on our website, and we have our next public information meeting that's going to be held on November the 17th. At the airport terminal building from 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock. So that will be another opportunity of which that we will have time. We'll have all the maps laid out and all the information laid out and be able to directly work with and respond with citizens on the airport master plan. So where can you get additional information about the master plan? on our website, which is www.vtmea, which stands for Virginia Tech Montgomery Executive Airport.com. On the left-hand side, there is a master plan update link, and we also, on that page, we also have a way of which that people can provide us directly with comments concerning the master plan. So, thank you.
Thank you,
Appreciate the
Keith.
time.
Any comments or questions?
I do. I appreciate you, all of you, coming out here to do a presentation. Mr. Stipes probably remembers I used to be a sucker for asking about the airport all the time, because I think I'm one of those people that loves information. The more information I get, the more I do, because it just helps me make decisions, especially when you are in town council. It really helps to, not for us, but just also make the decision to give out money, because some of the money, I think, is still $50,000 or $60,000 a year. $60,000 a year that is taxpayers' money, so it's not my money, it's everybody else's. And so, so it's important for me and for you guys to show up. So I so love that. And then I have a couple of questions. So you said that you guys want to kind of keep within your own fence, not a lot of acquisition of land and things like that, but with the comprehensive plan and stuff, I'm going to be looking at it too. So, but can you answer a few questions if you can? Of course. With the comprehensive plan, do you have plans to purchase more land? Because I do know that's becoming very hard to find land. And I do see a lot of projects that are happening all around the airport. I often go by there, and I do notice all the buildings and all the stuff is going up, especially because you got VCOM right next door to you guys, you know, and then Virginia Tech. But VCOM becoming a huge development thing over the last years. And so that was one of the questions you have, you know, under that comprehensive plan. I know that for right now you don't have additional land, but on the comprehensive plan, will you have that? And then also, with the government being shut down still, are you guys going to be continuing to have the airport open? Is that continues to have the services out there? Do you have like a 6-month plan in case, you know, this continues, or? And then that's another question. And then, well, if you want to answer those first.
Sure, absolutely. So I'll address the land issue first. There's several things of which that we can do smartly, and we are doing smartly with regards to zoning. We can do navigation easements, things of which that help to protect the airport in a way of which that does not necessitate us going out and buying the land. And so those are some of the things of which that we already are very well protected around the airport from both our zoning perspective and some of our navigation easements that give us the right in order to limit the height of development around the airport, so that we don't have future development of which that puts aviation safety at risk. As far as the purchase of property or the additional for the future expansions of the airport, most of the property of which that we would be looking at is university owned. We've already purchased a large portion of property on the other side of Main Street of which that the airport owns and controls. That helped to preserve our runway safety area on the Main Street side. Going towards the Southgate side, quite honestly, some of our really large, I guess I would say landlocked limitations are Southgate Drive and Main Street. So the acquisition of additional property in those areas would logically be, unfortunately, resulting in the moving of one of those two main thoroughfares. That probably won't logically be done in a 20-year time frame. That would be a very large undertaking of a project. So we are somewhat landlocked as to where we can grow on both sides of the airport. As far as the federal shutdown, the airport is completely, right now, nearly unaffected by the shutdown. It has not caused us any issues, problems, and/or concerns. We do not have directly air traffic control facilities on the field, and the air traffic controllers are still, as you know, working, although unfortunately without pay. So we do not anticipate issues as far as having to shut down the airport. All of my grant projects and my grant-funded projects are still open and operating, and I'm still receiving the funding from my grant-funded projects. With this master plan project in particular, we actually got hit a little bit harder by some of the retirements of some of the federal employees. We were very fortunate of which that our project is now being considered by the Beckley field office within the FAA. And quite frankly, that has been a very seamless and easy transition for us. We previously were working, and we still do work with, but our project was out of the Washington Airport District office, and now they've got us working with a planner at the Beckley field office. And so that has not affected and/or impacted our project.
So the air controllers facilities are in Beckley, not in
No.
Roanoke or?
No, the air traffic control facilities are out of Roanoke. Air
Okay.
traffic controllers. The planner of which that we work with on this master plan, he is
Yeah.
now out of the Beckley.
Oh, okay, so two different things. All right, and then as far as the, and this one is being on me for a while too, the commercial side of things, I know you guys do a lot of, service, a lot of private planes and things like that, and for Virginia Tech and obviously big corporations. I would still love to see, a small airport once, in my lifetime, hopefully, around here, and hopefully not just in Roanoke, but Blacksburg. What a great opportunity for that small airport for, small flights, maybe from here to New York or something like that. Is that a possibility that may be included in the comprehensive plan for that?
So growing smartly is included in the comprehensive plan, and what I mean by that is making sure of which that the airport would be able to accommodate future increased activities, such as right now our terminal building would not be at all feasible to be able to accomplish commercial airline service. One of the things of which that I would say from a financial perspective, we right now are very well served by promoting and utilizing the Roanoke Airport for our commercial service so that they can increase their traffic and increase their flights, because airlines are very much run very strong from a business mindset. They know exactly where you started and what airport you went through and where your ultimate destination is. It's really important in making the decisions for them as to what additional routes that they will add to a certain airport. So the support of the Roanoke Airport and their commercial service traffic is really important. I will say that from our perspective, with our runway at 5,500 feet, we would have to very much be, I guess I would say, take with a grain of salt what type of airline or what airline service would look like at our airport. At 5,500 feet, which is our runway length, our type of airline service of which that we could potentially even pursue, I don't think is going to be what our citizens would expect. And what I mean by that is it's going to be a single-engine airplane with 9 seats. It's probably going to go to one destination at best twice a day. You're not going to be able to find it on Expedia.com. You're going to have to book it directly through that individual airline's website. And 2, once you get to wherever it's connecting through, you're still going to have to get off that plane and go through that airport's security, because we don't have TSA, we don't have security, we don't have those items in place at our airport. To do so, I would be coming to our localities and probably requesting somewhere in the nature of about $30 million. I don't think that that's feasible to do in today's market, nor would it necessarily be the best opportunity for success. I think where we can poise ourselves the best is making sure of which that our comprehensive plan is set up in such a way of which that as this area grows and as the community grows, if those and when those opportunities come around, that we're not standing here looking at our terminal building going, there's no way we can accommodate that here. Let's make sure of which that we're building the buildings for our future growth out at the airport, to be able to accommodate those items in the future and not let those building structures and our other facilities be a hindrance to that as being a possibility. So long way to say, probably not, certainly not in the short-term immediate future. In a short-term immediate future, if we wanted to try to expand into a 9-seat passenger airplane, certainly might be feasible and might be possible. It's still taking an awful lot of money, and I'm not 100% sure it would serve our community the best. Our businesses that fly in here, our private citizens that fly into our airport, our charter flights that fly in and out of the airport, all are our bread and butter type of flights. Those are the type of activities. Those are what right now are generating our economic development for our communities, and that's what our airport right now serves the best. And for the time being, I'll let Roanoke handle the commercial guys.
Okay. Thank you so much for answering the questions.
Thank you. Any
Sorry,
other
that was a
com-
very long answer. I apologize.
No, it's okay. It's good.
Any other comments or questions? Keith, thank you, and your
Thank you.
staff.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
This is our citizens' comment portion of the meeting where citizens can come forward, name and address in 3 minutes, and if you have anything you want to talk about. Anyone here to address? Hearing no one, I'll close the citizens' comments. Go to committee reports. Mr. Wilson, I believe you all were in a committee yesterday.
Yeah, I have a couple. On Friday, the Sustainability Committee met and wanted to report that the solar projects that we have going on at the Aquatic Center and the Rec Center, the installation phase is complete. We're waiting on Appalachian Power to come and do their part. We're hoping by the middle of November that we will flip the switch and be 100% operational on the solar project. So great work by multiple areas in the town working on that project. Appreciate it. One of the other things that we've been working on is something called a non-native invasive plant management plan. And we're moving into the implementation phase of that, looking at those types of plants, at least on town property, that are non-native and considered invasive, and how to prevent further growth and eradicate any of them that have already taken place. And then the Emergency Services Committee met last night. We're looking at doing a emergency operations planning, which is kind of the sand table, looking at the May timeframe to do one with the town council. Prior to that, we'd like to schedule a retreat where we'll bring in emergency management and do a class for senior elected officials prior to that. Looking at sometime in April. That'll be up to the new elected people sitting here to make those determinations, but that was something we forecasted. And then a topic of the town council safety planning was brought up. We'd like to do a December work session and a closed session where we go through those plans of how that will function. And during that session, whoever the newly elected people are, they'll be invited to participate in that work session as well. We talked about staffing requests, and just as a footnote for council, in the county hiring of full-time firefighters, we had 9 of our volunteers that went full-time into the county jobs. They're still allowed to participate as volunteer firefighters at the moment. However, it's a strain on those 9 individuals and on our fire department. So once again, in next year's budget, we're requesting more career firefighters, and same for emergency services. They'll be requesting more full-time members as well. And then the Montgomery County Emergency Services Study Update, they have signed a contract with a group. They're going to start mid-November. We're looking at April 1st for the report to be released as to what their findings are. And they will come around and brief the individual towns and the county after they've completed their report. And that's all I have for committees.
All righty. Any other committees that have met?
I have, so agency and agent moved we had a meeting this last week in senior services as far as the, for the budget for the future, for the next year. They're gonna be asking the town about, I think it's $9,500. It's not gonna go up from the previous year. They do want any donations, especially because during this time, the government being shut down, it does bring a lot of monetary issues for the agency, so any donations are definitely greatly appreciated. And they're actually working on a line of credit right now to work through some of that to make sure that they are prepared for the next 6 months to a year, because there is not a long time plan, especially because we get a lot of the money from the federal and the states. So with that said, also, there are also in a lot of need for homemakers and nutritionists. And so if you know of anybody that wants to apply, definitely go through the Agency on Aging. They're looking for helpers. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other committees? All right, so we'll go into discussion and action by mayor and council. An ordinance amending Chapter 18, Finance and Taxation of the Christiansburg Town Code in regard to tax exemptions and deferrals for elderly and totally disabled. Totally disabled, there you go. I thought I missed something, no, it's not on that page.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to approve. Any comments or questions?
So, I did ask about that this week. Katie had actually replied to me regarding the, give me 1 second.
Yeah, 49,000.
Yeah, and so the cost to the town is an approx from the previous year on the budget would be about $40-something thousand.
I think I saw 49.1-ish.
What was it, Katie? Can you remind me? I'm looking for that email.
It was 49,100.
Okay.
I rounded up, it's like $49,087 or something.
Okay, so yeah. And I know that we're following the county code as far as that went through over there, so, and our tax real estate, obviously, for the town is still 14 cents, which is definitely a lot lower than the counties.
Any other comments or questions? We have a motion and a second on the floor, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Bishop.
Aye.
Councilwoman Bowman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Cox.
Aye.
Councilwoman Hicks.
Aye.
Councilwoman Hockett.
Aye.
Councilman Wilson.
Aye.
It is 6:00. Thank you very much. Staff reports, Town Manager.
I'll mention the farmer's market last day is this Thursday. The homecoming parade that was scheduled for Wednesday has been canceled due to the threat of rain. The town Halloween event is Friday, October 31st from 3 to 5, and the downtown treat trail is 5 to 7. Launch Christiansburg graduation is November 6th from 6 to 8 at the Christiansburg Aquatic Center. Town Hall will be closed November 4th for Election Day and November 11th for Veterans Day, both Tuesdays. The Veterans Day celebration is downtown Saturday, November 8th from 11 to 1. November 18th will be the only town council meeting. The other meetings have been canceled, and that includes the work session as well. So November 18th will be the only town council meeting. The employee luncheon, we've set that for December 10th. That's a Wednesday from 11 to 2. And we were planning to do Cracker Barrel for that. And just give you the cost on that is $5,441.29. And also, we were planning on doing the employee gift cards this year, $50 for full-time employees and $25 for employees with greater than 5 years service or who work more than 20 hours per week. The cost on that total is $14,750. And as an employee gift, we plan on doing a vacuum mug. This is basically it. then we would have an inscription with Christiansburg, VA, the place to work. And the total cost of the employee gift is $3,194.43. All of that is budgeted this year under the employee appreciation. So just making you aware that those are the plans, unless there's any objection. That's all I have.
Randy, I'm sorry, can I ask him a question? Randy, can you please tell me about what are we doing for the fire department, the volunteers and the EMS? Volunteers, since they do not work full-time or part-time, can we please give them something?
Volunteers,
Yes,
okay, what would you like to do?
I would like to do at least the $50, if that's okay with town council.
Well, we have the full-time EMS employees fall under the same guidelines that our other employees, so there's, what do you got back there, Josh, 30, 40 full-timers? 14 full-time? And then you have, how many part-timers? About 25?
I'm talking about the volunteers. So for the fire department, we have like 50 people, I think, isn't it?
And the volunteers?
I would
are,
like to
what,
give them
one,
a gift
two?
card.
How many volunteers do you have running now? Okay.
Can we please do like a $50 gift card at least, please?
I wouldn't do it any more than what we're doing for the part-time people. 25?
Okay, so 25 will, can I make a motion, or how does that work?
Yeah,
Got room in the budget?
Can we just go right ahead and do that, please?
I'm not in objection as long as we've got the money. I mean, there's probably enough left in the,
If it's a consensus of council, it's something we can afford within the budget. We might bring it back to you later just as a formal budget amendment, but it's something we could absorb within
So
the
you're not
budget.
talking more than $100, Randy?
It's $25.
You're talking more than 100.
You're talking about
yes.
like $1,000, which is not that much.
I'm in agreement to the $25 gift card.
Okay, can we do that, please?
Is that a
yes.
motion?
I make a motion that we give all the volunteers that work for the town $25 for the
Gift
fire
card.
department and gift cards, yeah.
Second.
Any comments?
Yeah, I'm just surprised we haven't been treating the volunteers like that, so I'm very grateful for those volunteers.
They save us a lot of money.
Madam Clerk, would you please?
Councilman Bishop.
Aye.
Councilwoman Bowman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Hicks.
Aye.
Sorry. Councilwoman Cox.
Aye.
Councilwoman Hockett.
Aye.
Councilman Wilson.
Aye.
All right, that is 6-0. Thank you very much.
And I have one more question for Randy. Do you happen to know, I know that I heard something, but I wanted to clarify. Did they tell you about the Christiansburg High School? Did they tell you where they were going to be lining up their floats? Because I know I had heard that they were going to be by the homecoming possibly, and maybe by the game. Do you hear anything about
I don't
that?
know that off the top of my head, but if I get it, I can try to find out and pass it on to
I don't know
you.
whether they have done them in the past in the parking lot, but I don't know. But I don't think we were informed on that. We were just informed that it was
And it
canceled
was
after we worked on
canceled.
it.
I think they just made that decision too. So.
Okay, very good. Any, town attorney, Mr. Thornton, you sitting over there quiet.
Nothing to report, Mayor. Thank you.
Any other staff here to report? Thank you.
I want to make a comment since you asked something about the lawyer. Any discussions from now on with anybody that we have, maybe possibility of litigation issues, I would like to have the lawyer involved in those conversations. I do know that there was a conversation yesterday with, Randy knows exactly what I'm talking about, and I would really like for that to be handled to, in company with the lawyer.
Okay, thank you. Council reports, Mr. Bishop,
No report.
Ms. Hicks,
No report. Thank you.
Ms. Hockett,
Nothing to report.
Mr. Wilson.
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion. Last year, we switched from Small Business Saturday to Small Business Week, and we did it and didn't give them much time to accommodate that. So I'd like to make the motion that this year we approve it early so that they have time to respond, and that from Small Business Saturday through the following Sunday, and allow them to do the bingo card and all those things again. So I make that in manner of a motion.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Discussion?
Since I may benefit or not benefit from this, I will abstain from the vote because I have a business in the town of Christiansburg. Thank you.
All right, anyone else? Madam Clerk?
Councilman Bishop.
Aye.
Councilwoman Bowman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Cox.
Aye.
Councilwoman Hicks.
Abstain.
Councilwoman Hockett.
Aye.
Councilman Wilson.
Aye.
Okay,
I have one more thing, Mayor.
okay.
The Chamber of Commerce is doing a food drive for anybody that's interested. Please drop stuff off. They're doing it between now and Friday, November 7th, and all donations will go to the Feeding Southwest Virginia and towards supporting those in need.
Very good. Thank you.
At this point, I'd like to make a motion for a closed meeting
Wait a
under.
minute, whoa, brother, we're not done yet. We haven't
Council
finished the
reports.
comments.
He was trying to keep head count.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
He stuttered.
Well, he who hesitates is lost. Ms. Bowman, your comments?
No, thank you.
This past,
I'm good.
This past Friday, I had the opportunity as chairman of the Passenger Rail Station Authority to tour the facility with 7 members from the Virginia Passenger Rail and Kevin Bird and some local people. And I thought we were just going to tour the building, but we took about a half a mile tour of the groundwork that's been done. There's a lot of work that has been done down there, and there's still 14 more months worth of work before we can get in and renovate the passenger rail station. We've gotten some estimates from, and we've had some contacts from Wendell Corporation and Foresight Design, who are handling the design on it. They've given us a very, very preliminary look as to what the building will look like. We have an operating budget. I do know that they're planning 150 parking places down there will be lighted. There is going to be a lot of access, digital access. So when the last train, in between trains, if a train leaves here at 4 o'clock in the morning and another one is scheduled at 10 in the morning, that building will automatically lock. It will be locked until an hour, 30 minutes before. And once the last passenger leaves the building, it will be locked. So I think it's very good. The trains will come up. They'll let everybody off here in Christiansburg, and then they will go to Radford. They already have a station, or not a station, but the tracks built up there that will allow the maintenance, the overnight maintenance, and the pressure washing and vacuum cleaning, sanitizing, whatever. So, and there is no need to turn the trains around because there will be a push me, pull you. There's one on each end, and that can do either one of them. So it's quite interesting. Still on schedule for August of '27. So anyway, I haven't given a report in a while. So any comments or questions about the passenger rail?
I'm really excited about it. It looks beautiful out there, really.
You ought to see it when it finishes. It'll be nice. It'll be really nice.
It'll be
A lot of
really nice.
surprise. All righty, now, Mr. Wilson.
I make a motion for a closed meeting under Code of Virginia 2.2-3711A1 for discussion, consideration, or interviews of prospective candidates for employment, assignment, appointment, promotion, performance, demotion, salaries, disciplining, or resignation of specific public officers, appointees or employees of any public body, and evaluation of performance of departments or schools of public institutions of higher education, where such evaluation will necessarily involve discussion of the performance of specific individuals. The closed meeting is being held for discussion of the town manager position.
Second.
You have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Madam Clerk?
Councilman Bishop.
Aye.
Councilwoman Bowman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Cox.
Aye.
Councilwoman Hicks.
Aye.
Councilwoman Hockett.
Aye.
Councilman Wilson.
Aye.
It is 6:00. We will go into closed session. We're going to take about a 5-minute break in order for the chambers to clear. So gavel us back in a minute.